Hi, everyone. I'm Vincent Joe.
Hi, I'm Kathy Reed.
And I'm Allison Reed.
Hi, I'm Ashley.
Hi, I'm Grace.
We're from the Haydenettes.
I am Mark Henretti.
Ciao a tutti, siamo Rebecca Ghirardi
e Filippo Ambrosini
e vi diamo il benvenuto a
This Week in Skating.
Welcome to This Week in Skating, the weekly podcast bringing you the latest news from the world of figure skating. Here are your hosts, Daphne, Gina, and Matteo.
Welcome back. We have another week of skating news and updates to share with you, but like last week, we've decided to give you another 2 episodes this week. Skating journalist Lynn Rutherford comes back to This Week in Skating to join Daphne and Gina to talk about Cup of China Grand Prix. As you can imagine, there's quite a lot to say about that one, so we decided to give it a specific focus. And I am recording our usual weekly update episode by myself. So let's dive into general skating news. I'm going to start actually by mentioning something relating to Cup of China. The International Skating Union is investigating after 2 Chinese ice dancers were shown with what appeared to be a toy ballistic missile during the free dance kiss and cry moment at Cup of China. Julia Turkila and Matteo Versluis have withdrawn from Skate Canada. Hannah Lim and Ye Kwan of South Korea will compete in their place. They were at Cup of China as well, so back-to-back Grand Prix for the 2 of them. We have interesting news. According to a page on the Skating Club of Boston's website, Alisa Efimova and Misha Mitrofanov have gotten married. They got married in February of 2024 and Alisa obtained her green card on July 27th. Efimova is seeking a waiver of the usual 3-year wedding period for a US passport. Last week, we forgot to mention that Scott Hamilton posted on Instagram that he will be joining Mike Tirico in studio for NBC's coverage of the 2026 Olympic Winter Games. In 2022, Scott was one of the hosts along with Brian Boitano and Ashley Wagner for Olympic Eyes on Peacock. Wednesday marks 100 days until the Olympic Games in Milan, Italy. This week, the US Olympic and Paralympic Committee is having a media summit in New York from October 28th to 29th. More than 60 Olympic and Paralympic athletes will be in attendance along with the members of the media. Stay tuned for the Today Show on Wednesday as we hear that some US figure skaters will be on to celebrate 100 days in Milan. Moving on to event results and coverage, as I said, there's going to be a separate episode for Cup of China Grand Prix, so I'm not going to talk about it here. But we still want to mention the 2025 Swiss Ice Skating Open took place. In the men, Matteo Rizzo won the event over fellow Italian Cory Circelli, and David Luton Brown was third. In the women, Olga Mitkutina of Austria won the event. She was followed by Olivia Lisko of Finland and Lia Serna of France. In the pairs, Oksana Volumos and Tom Bouvard of Switzerland won the event. They were followed by Irma Caldara and Riccardo Mario of Italy and Louise Erdhard and Métis Pellegrini of France in third place. And in the dance, Marie Dupaillage and Thomas Nabat of France won the event. They were followed by Victoria Magni and Carlo Rothleisberger of Italy and Arianna Sassi and Luca Marini of Switzerland in third place. In our show notes, you will be able to find links to Gordion Cup, Golden Bear, Japanese Eastern Sectionals and Pairs Preliminaries, and Skate Manitoba Junior and Senior Sectionals. Moving on to upcoming events for the week. The World Inclusive Skating Championships is taking place in London, United Kingdom this week from October 27th to the 31st. We are also going to include results from these events in our show notes. We are also ready for the 3rd Grand Prix of the season, which is Skate Canada International, taking place between October 31st and November the 2nd in Saskatoon, Canada. In the men's field, we are going to see Ilya Malinin competing again at his 2nd Grand Prix. Stefan Gogolev and Roman Sadowski of Canada will be there in a battle for the Canadian Olympic spot. Nika Gaze of Georgia will be there, Kevin Amos in his 1st Grand Prix of the season, and Nikolai Memola of Italy. In the women's field, as of now, there's no replacement for Nina Pinzaroni, which had to pull out. But from Japan, we are going to see Ami Nakai, Mone Chiba, and Yuna Aoki. We are also going to see Lara Naki-Gutman of Italy in her 1st Grand Prix this season. And representing the United States will be Isabel Levito, Brady Tennell, and Sarah Everhart. In the pairs, We are going to see Diana Stellato Dudek and Maxime Deschamps coming back for their second Grand Prix. They won silver in France. Minerva Fabienne Hasse and Nikita Volodin of Germany will be there as well, so it's going to be quite a nice battle between them and the Canadians. They're also going to be challenged by Ellie Kam and Danny Osha of the United States and Leah Pereira and Trent Michaud of Canada. In the ice dance, we are going to see the season debut of Piper Gills and Paul Poirier. Also from Canada, Marjorie Lajoie and Zachary Laga. And from the United States, Christina Carrera and Anthony Ponomarenko will have their first Grand Prix. Emily Bratianier Somerville come back for their second Grand Prix after Grand Prix de France. Also coming back from France after they won a bronze medal are Alison Reed and Salius Ambrulevicius of Lithuania. And as we mentioned before, Hannah Lim and Ye Kwan of Korea are added to the roster yesterday to replace Finland's Julia Turkila and Mattia Verslois. We are also going to add links in our show notes to Northern Lights Trophy, which is going to take place in Reykjavik, Iceland, the 17th Tirnavia Ice Cup, which is going to take place in Trnava, Slovakia, the 2025 Japanese Western Sectionals in Otsu, Japan, and the 25-26 Skate Alberta, Northwestern Territories and Nunavut Sectionals in Edmonton, Alberta. Let's move on to online updates. Olivia Smart has started a podcast called The Untold Story of Being an Olympic Ice Dancer. She will be sharing her journey and the real stories behind the spotlight. The first episode is up on her YouTube channel. Caitlin Awayek posted that she will be the in-arena DJ for Skate America in Lake Placid. The last time Skate America was held in Lake Placid, Caitlin was actually competing with Jean-Luc Baker, so it's nice for her to come back with a different role. And I've seen Caitlin DJing at the World Championships in Montreal, and I have to say that she is really good. So very jealous of everyone at Skate America. Diana Davis and Gleb Smolkin shared on Instagram that they've received messages of support from Gabriel Saban, who sent personal messages to each skater responding to their use of his song A Taste of Elegance in their free dance. Also, you might have noticed that it changed their rhythm dance to music by Offspring, and the band itself left a fire emojis on one of their posts. We also like to mention articles that were published a week prior recording the episode. This week we'd like to mention the podcast interview with Jean-Luc Baker by the Future of Figure Skating podcast, and two articles on Skate Infoglass, one with the ice dance team of Selina Fragi and Jean-Ernst Fourneau, and one with Francois Pitot. Right, this is the end of this week's episode, a very brief one. As always, we like to end the episode with updates on our respective media. So this week in skating, remember that we have a separate episode recapping Cup of China Grand Prix. We are in the process of finding a new vendor for our store, so stay tuned. And as always, you can join our Patreon for access to ad-free episodes. At icedance.com, there is a new interview with Georgia's Diana Davis and Gleb Smolkin that Maria spoke with while she was at Grand Prix de France. We have photos from Cup of China and a recap from the event, as well as a preview of Skate Canada. And we also have some new profiles added, so make sure you check that as well. At Figure Skaters Online, there are photos from Cup of China and a recap of the event from Carissa. There is going to be a preview of Skate Canada International and the launch of Jacob Sanchez's website. That's it for today. I know that it sounds crazy that we're already starting the third of 6 Grand Prix, but things are moving fast this season. So until next week.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of This Week in Skating. Remember, you can keep up with us throughout the week by visiting our website at www.thisweekinskating.com. Connect with us on social media for additional updates. You can find us on Twitter at This Week in Skating without the E's, or Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at This Week in Skating. You got a burning question or feedback for Gina, Daphne, or Matteo? Reach out to us via social media or drop us an email at thisweekinskating@gmail.com. And if you're really enjoying the show and want to support us further, consider joining our Patreon community at patreon.com/thisweekinskating. Until next time, have a nice week.